Well, hello everyone. Andrew McKee, the Irish Bard, with Life's Affair, back for another evening of Faire Life. It's been another week, and you know what that means. I get to talk about the last show, and I'm gonna go on a limb here and say that that was one of the best shows we've ever had. Now, when Lee and I first started talking about doing a mashup of some groups that had been on our track before, on our uh, been on the show, we thought, there were some combinations that I really wish we could have put together, and I think this was a really good proof of concept. Uh, yeah, definitely, because you look at this and the Pride of Ireland and the Langer's Ball, and wow, it's yeah, it was a really good show. They they recorded new stuff and it was just fabulous. Really great sound and a great back and forth together. I think Pride of Ireland's voice really was a good start going into Langer's Ball, and it was just exactly what I would have liked. So, hello everyone. Hello. I mean, we have a lot of people on here tonight. We have Jan and Janine and Katsurita and Sabrina. Hey, and Guy and yeah, all good. So I hope all of you saw the show. I mean, throw in what you thought of it, because I was so thrilled. It went so much better than I was expecting. I thought it was going to be a great show, but wow, just so happy. And I see y'all are uh, talking about the hurricanes approaching. Uh, yeah, this is one of the reasons I still live in Austin, because it's so far inland. I don't really have to worry about it. Hopefully everything will be fine with everyone. But yeah, Jan, thank you. Yeah, it was. She's saying it was a great show, and it was a really great show. Like I said, yeah, this it's just been kind of nice to be able to see the progression of the shows, and I'm proud. I just know I've said this a few times before, but I'm really proud to say that it has progressed. I think each show is better than the last, and that's a good feeling. And as long as we can keep that up, I think we're going to be fine. Because yeah, that's every show we learn a little something new, and we think of something new to add, and that's the best part about it. And yeah, I think I and Deidre's hi Deidre, and she's saying she loves Prido, and yes, the voice that he has, that Matt has, is just wow. He has an operatic background and operatic training. And for those of you that, I mean, they've both been on our show before, and I did interview them on the podcast. So if you'd like to hear more about Matt's operatic background, go check out the podcast episode with him, where I got to interview him. And Langer's Ball, uh, I know that a lot of you are more local around me, or southeast. They are more north and west as far as regions that they perform in. So it was interesting to get to know them. So definitely check out their podcast too. But but yeah, I mean, they great musicians, great voices, and it was a blast, a lot of fun. Oh wow, and Jan's saying that saw some terrible fires and would love to send some rain. Yeah, that's always the tough part. Oh yeah, and Lee, good. I was hoping Lee would jump in on that and saying that Pride of Ireland is on episode 7, the episode 7 podcast. Now, of course, you can just go to our podcast list on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, and you'll just see them all. And it says in the title who I'm interviewing, so it's pretty easy to find them. But yeah, episode 7 and episode 5, and I really I got to find out how they got into music, and how they got into Renaissance fairs, and that whole history. And Pride of Ireland, especially, I that operatic. I mean, once he told me about his opera training and everything before, I was kind of like, it all makes sense now. It really does, because that resonant voice that he has is just phenomenal. So a lot of fun. I'm glad y'all got to see it and enjoy it. And if you didn't for some reason, definitely check out the show, because I really am adamant that it was at the very least one of our best. So that was great. That was really great. Mm. And a lot of fun. And the other interesting thing about it is the quality of the recording and the video and the audio and everything has improved for them since several weeks ago when they were last on the show, and that was great to see too. I mean, I it was one of those things where I got the videos and I was kind of like, do I really need to do color correction on this? I don't really have to. I went ahead and did a little, and it helped, but I could have gotten away without it. It was really, they did a great job. Um, a really, really great job. So yeah, it was, the quality is just really getting to be something, and that's nice. It's been great to see all of these performers improve with their setup and gradually improve with the knowledge on how to make it, how to do a good recording and a really good for audio and video. So yeah, that's always rewarding. uh, and I also get to talk with them, and I have in the past and still do, about how to get the little things I see and how to do even better. So we're all in this together. Always fun. Now I'll go ahead and talk about the next show because that is a completely different mashup. We're going for something very different. Yeah, very different indeed. The next show is going to be Dan the Bard Fugly. Now they're going to be doing more of the gaming bard type of approach to music. Um, that was that was really interesting. There, it's going to be a sort of a different approach and a little bit on the fringe of what fair really is to us. So I'd really like to hear what you think about it. I think it's going to be interesting and a lot of fun because they're both great guys and have a good time doing what they do. Oh, and Lee's commenting on how the Pride of Ireland's location. I mean, if you haven't seen it, he was in front of a bunch of barrels behind him, all stacked up with alcohol and everything in them. It was, I believe, it was a winery, right? And it was just gorgeous. Uh, he set it up perfectly, and the his voice in that underground room was oh yeah, it kind of had that resonant kind of. I mean, he's got a resonant voice anyway, but then when you get that natural reverb that you would get from like a cathedral or something, it just that great sound. So I'm looking. So that was just a lot of fun. That was just a lot of fun. Mm. Yeah, yeah, and you know I'm kind of with you, Janine. Janine said that local D&D never pulled her in. I Yeah, I never really did Dungeons and Dragons when I was a kid. I I escaped that somehow, and I did get to play some in college and afterwards and everything. But yeah, I didn't get to do it when I was a kid. Just yeah, those challenges of suburbia, I guess. Mm. So, but yeah, definitely. So I'm looking forward to that show. So definitely check that out on the August 27th, this Thursday. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, and Lee's making the comment that the visual combined with Pride of Ireland's a tone in his voice was really added, and I think you're right. I mean, when I first saw the video, when I first caught it, it was my thought was, oh my god, that's really good work for a green screen behind him. That looks perfect. I can't even. And then I saw the camera shift to because he was using a two camera system, and I was kind of like, that's not a green screen. He's actually there. Wow. So yeah, yeah. Oh, and Katsurita says that she's played Dungeons and Dragons, but she really prefers to watch other people play. You know, that's interesting because I know I'm kind of that way with video games, where I just, I'll be fascinated by watching other people do them, but it's not something I really want to spend I don't want to spend 8 hours straight doing it. It just, no, I'll watch for a while and have fun, but it sucks me in too much, so I don't usually play video games much anymore. Mm. Yeah, and Jeremy is commenting about Jeremy Fugly is is talking about nothing like the old school rules, and yes, he is right. Um, I first started on second edition, which was really odd. I mean, it took first edition and then made it a made it more complicated. So yeah, it was kind of weird. It was kind of weird. I think I started with the most complicated version of Dungeons and Dragons, and then afterwards it got easier. Although not always, it didn't always make sense, but that's a side note. Oh man, and yeah, that's generally what happens when you when you have a family. I guess it gets a little more difficult to have those game nights. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this Thursday's show because I think the gaming aspect. I mean, I we've had performers who've done a little bit of that, but um, but yeah, for the whole show to be that way, this is going to be interesting. I'm really curious what people think about it. Um, yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's a little French fair kind of thing on the edge of that, and I think it's going to turn out really good. I think it's going to be a great mash up there. And yeah, second edition. Jeremy says the second edition is good, and I was yeah it is. I started with the add-ons of was it Skills and Powers and a few extra add-on books as well, and that even more complicated it. Yeah, the the guy in charge who was running the gaming, the DM, he was phenomenally great at it. We had a group of like 14 people, and he ran it, and it was smooth, and everybody had a good time. So it's a lot of fun. Uh, so if and yeah, Merrick's talking about Palladium, and um, yeah, yeah, that's I'm haven't messed with Palladium, but yeah, I did mess with GURPS for a little bit, but mostly regular Dungeons and Dragons. And hello, Kristen. Thanks for joining us, and Merrick. Um, yeah, I'm really definitely. That's a good point, Jeremy. Definitely uh, ask your tabletop friends. I mean, check it out and check the show because you don't. That's the thing. You don't normally get shows like this with different performers all doing gaming music. I mean, that's going to be interesting. It really is. Um, and yeah, and Jeremy's right. 14 at once is a lot, but he handled it. I mean, this is a guy who got a Celtic Studies degree at the University of Texas, and I mean, he'd read all of the books, knew all the rules inside and out, all the extra books. I mean, you could go down an alley in a town, and he could tell you, oh, okay, well, you're going down here, then this is what's going to be on the left, and it would be he just remember it from the map. He just had it all in his head, and he did voices and really got into characters, and it was so interactive. It was great. So I kind of got spoiled at the beginning, so that probably helps a lot because I think a lot of people start off with so so uh, so DMs. So and for those that don't know, DMs are dungeon masters. They're the guys that are running the game for the players. Um, and yes, Lee is talking about a game show program soon. I wasn't sure we should really talk about that. That was yeah. Yeah, I guess since she brought it up, we can. We didn't really clear talking about anything, Lee. So, well, okay, I'll say a few things. Yeah, um, we are talking about doing a we are talking about doing a new game. Now, for those of you that saw uh, our collaboration with Paulo Garbanzo from Nat 21, well, when was this? A few months ago, where we did a game setup and it was a lot of fun. That that went really well. We had a great time. We learned a lot from the experience, and now we're looking at doing a little more with that. So keep an eye out for that. We are just starting to really get in development with that. I think it's going to happen sooner rather than later because we're all really gung ho about it. I don't know if I can really say much more about it because we have talked about some things, but we haven't really gone into great detail. So yes, definitely. Um, it should be a lot of fun. But yeah, thanks for mentioning that, Lee, and bringing that up. I think that's a good thing to talk about because it is going to be exciting coming up. Hmm. Wow. I almost forgot. You know, I've mentioned the whole Shakespeare reviews thing that last week, and we talked about that was coming up. Well, if some of you looked at the Evite and everything, that it was it was going to be this Friday. But we looked at everything and we saw a lot of people wanted to participate. A lot of great things were coming in, and we realized, if we waited a little bit longer, we could really make this something amazing. And we all had a meeting and talked about it. And so for now, we pushed it back a few weeks, and it is going to be on September the 18th now. So this is the Shakespeare reviews and the beginning of that, and our red carpet show. Not Shakespeare reviews, that's pretty much ready to go. But the red carpet event, the whole party and everything we're doing beforehand, that's huge. Now, and I think we've talked about it a little bit, but uh, yeah, in case you didn't hear me last week talk about it, or you just forgot, because sometimes I tend to ramble. Um, it oh gosh, the baby goats walk the red carpet. Oh no, no, Lee's talking about the. Yeah, well, the idea is that we want either pictures or videos of you for the red carpet, so you can get all dressed up and either take a picture, or if you can do video, uh, do a video, and if you want to know how to do that and what we need from you exactly. I mean, it would be very quick, short things, nothing too crazy. But if you're interested, shoot us an email, and that'll work. Yeah, I don't know. Now I've got goats on the red carpet on my brain. Yeah, that is. I like that. That's a good idea. That is a good idea. Um, yeah. Hmm. So anyway, for those that don't know, Shakespeare Reviews is where uh, Shakespeare Proves and I are going to review movies that are inspired or direct adaptations of Shakespeare plays. And there are so many. There are so many. Shakespeare had so much influence on art in every single way. So yes, uh, if you're interested in something like that, it's great because we talk about the movies, and I will say that the I think it's fair for me to give away what the first movie is, right, Lee? I don't know if we've really said that out loud yet, but I think we can. Um, the first movie is um, yeah, the first episode is going to be a review of 1968 Zeffirelli's Romeo and Juliet. Now I know what you're thinking. Oh, it's Romeo and Juliet. That's cliche. Well, that's why we went with it first, because it is probably one of the best Shakespeare adaptation movies. Period. It's hard to argue that. So we wanted to start off with a good movie that really you should watch because it is just a great film. So definitely check that out. And uh, well, now she said I could say it. Too late. Already did. That nice 15-second delay or whatever it is. Hee hee. Mm. So yes. After that, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the movies after that yet. But that one, I'll share that one. Maybe next week I'll share the next one. But it's a really good film. So something to check out. Now the interesting thing here though is that not we didn't really like all the movies we reviewed. There was one bit where where Shakespeare walked off the camera in a huff, and there was one movie that he was not a fan of by far. So there, it is interesting. It is interesting. We do have some we do have some debates going on, but I think it's going to be a lot of fun because if you haven't seen us together, it we're kind of goofballs with it. Uh, Definitely. Oh yeah, okay. She already got a copy off Amazon. That's excellent. And yeah. Oh yeah, and the first one. I'll tell you the next one next week, Jan. Jen's asking, if she wants to know the others. Uh, And I'm not 100% sure what the second release is going to be. I know the first one. The first one is definitely that one because we recorded the first four already. We've already got them done. So those are there. I'm ready to go. So yeah, I know what you're thinking. Yes, we actually are ahead. It's crazy, right? Crazy concept. Getting all of it recorded beforehand. Nuts. Yeah. But yeah, Janine is saying she got it on Amazon and will donate to public library after watching. That is a really great idea. I like that. That is brilliant, and it's a great movie. I mean, of course, for students, that's usually the movie that students watch in high school about Shakespeare, the Zeffirelli version, because it is about one of the closest film adaptations of the plays. Um, okay, fine, Lee. We can throw it out there next week. I'm not sure when we'll get it nailed down, though. I mean, do you want me to just kind of say all the movies out of order? Is that what you're saying, Lee? Is you want me to just kind of throw all of them out there so that people know the next four episodes? Hmm. Hmm. Is that what you're saying? Is that? Hmm. Hmm. Because I kind of feel like we should probably do it in order, make it a little easier. But yeah, that's just my take on it. But no, I'm really excited about this. Uh, yeah, I'm sorry for the delay, but believe me, it's going to be worth it because we are going all out on this. Some of the guests, um, yeah, you're going to be surprised by some of the people we have on here for the red carpet premiere. It is, uh, yeah, it's going to be pretty cool. Um, I don't know if I should say any actual names yet because I know a few people who are going to be in it, and they're actually, like famous, so it's kind of cool. But no, yeah, we'll yeah, I'll hold off. I'll just be a tease. I know it's unlike me, but I'll give it a shot. But yeah, Shakespeare reviews. I think I've told you about this a few times, but I'm just so excited about it. I think you're really gonna like it. It's gonna be a blast, and we're gonna do a premiere. And I think it's also, I'm sure we'll have watch parties and do a bunch of stuff. It's just gonna be a blast. Yeah, and let's see. Just let us know through Facebook, or you can just message us, or you can send us an email at social@lifesaffair.com. That works. I know, right? He's just talking about you can't wait to talk about it. I know. I really, because we're still putting it all together, so I don't want to say something because some of the videos I know they're there. I just don't have them in hand yet. So I don't want to I don't want to say for sure on some of these because I'll know in the next few days for sure on some of them, but I'm like 98% sure on several of them, and it's just yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Well, I mean, fancy clothes, Jan. She's saying that they don't have any fancy clothes anymore, and that's you know the beautiful thing is we're we're fair people. I mean, fancy clothes is you have options. It doesn't have to be like a tuxedo. It can be fair formal, if you know what I mean. So you've got options. Oh, and Kristen is saying, when is it due? Uh, you know, we just pushed the date to the 18th. So, that's a very good question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure exactly when. That's one thing we really haven't talked about. When is the deadline? Um, maybe something. I mean, we've probably got at least a week. At least next Monday. Yeah, we really didn't discuss it. Uh, huh. So yeah, at least till next week, at least till next Monday. That would be great if we could get something by then. So within the next week. If it's a little after that, we could maybe do that. But we'd kind of like stuff before because we'd really like to get a lot of that together. Um, yeah. Um, so I guess try for the next week. Oh, the 11th? Really? He's going for the 11th. That's a lot of time. Whoa. Really? So like 2.5 weeks from now? Okay, we could do that. Wow. Well, he's more generous than I am. I'll say that. Mm. Uh, but I'll say the next 2 weeks. That's when I would say. I would like to get them by then. Um, but if it happens to be 2.5 weeks, okay. So I would say if it was me, I would say the 7th, personally. Because, yeah, by Monday. So walk the carpet like a pirate is what Jeremy's saying. I think that's a really good point. That is really a good point. But yeah, so yeah, that should be good. Um, let's see. Shakespeare reviews, definitely look for that. That should be a lot of fun. And also, yeah, if you haven't seen Shakespeare with me, I mean, I was on his shameless self promotions before. Um, so yeah, that was last Friday, I think. Yeah, that was last Friday. So you can check on Shakespeare's shameless self promotion, and I am on there. So that is a lot of fun. You can definitely see a little bit of our dynamic. We are goofballs, that's for sure. And I think we even talked a little bit about the Shakespeare reviews there too, so you can hear a little bit more about it. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. Other than that, um, I actually had a bit of a question for you. The a little bit of Ren knowledge goes a long way, and I really thought that in the last week, has there been any skill or a bit of knowledge or information that you gleaned because of Fair that has helped you in your day to day life during all of this? I mean, during the last week, I'm just curious because for me, because of what I do, I tend to do. I mean, I use the stuff I gleaned from Fair every single day. Um, it is it is pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy. Whether it's the music, the improv, the yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff I use every day. I've learned from Fair a little bit of the history, the knowledge. But has there been anything for y'all that you actually a skill you developed at Fair, a bit of knowledge that you developed at Fair that has helped you during the week? Because I'm really curious. And oh, Lee apparently has a good one. So let's see what that is. Jeremy says hydrate. Yeah, with the heat of the summer, I think that is a very, very, very good point and a good idea because hydration, we often forget. Even at fair, we sometimes forget. So it is always a good plan. And if you are more, uh, uh, you are better at hydrating because of your experience at fair, I will give you that one. That is a very good one. Good idea. Good idea. I like that. And yeah, no one else. That's all. Well, yeah. Oh yeah, I do too, Jeremy. I keep sunblock in my car as well. Yeah, that is definitely a must. Something you learn from fair because you never know. You never know when you're gonna suddenly find yourself okay, I'm at this event and I'm going to be outside for the next 5 hours that I didn't really think I would. And now, yeah, now that having that sunscreen in my car really came in handy. And I certainly keep sunscreen in my car. So yeah, yeah, a good lesson learned. Mm. And Lee's saying that she identified a strange piece that came with her grandmother's tea set that no one had any idea what it was. It was the insert for a vintage butter dish. I knew what it was because I've done a butter churning demonstration in the living history section in the past. Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's true. She was doing that demonstration when I first met her, as a matter of fact. So yeah, totally remember that. Okay. And Kristen's been a goat midwife, maternity ward nurse. Interesting. Well, I don't know if you learned that at Fair. Probably not. Although you never know. But yeah, I mean that's Lee saying she knows people who do that at Fair. I do too. Okay, Kristen, not a fan of babies. That is fair. Okay. Wow. I've got to stop saying that is fair because it just sounds like a pun every time I say it. Like I'm making a joke, and I'm not intending to. I really am not. Oh. Oh man. And Elizabeth is saying she works in home health, and on days that are particularly rough for a client, will bring out my fair accent gesture persona to get a smile out of them. Okay. And you get a full on laugh on those rough days. And that's, yeah, that's something you learn to fair. That is a great idea. Yeah, some of your skill and talent to make people's lives better. Wow. And Deidre says she learned at fair was how to open doors and dry her hands with her skirt. Wow. Okay. Okay. That's good. Um, yeah. Okay. No, the court ladies at fair, they taught me how to stay cool in a kilt, to just kind of do the whole bell moving forward and back, and have the kilt move, kind of move the air backwards and forwards on, so it just goes up underneath. So yeah, I saw them doing that and asked them what it was, and it's like, oh, this is how we stay cool. So I tried it. It works in a kilt too. I probably look a little stupid doing it, but every once in a while I'll do it because it can get hot out there. Ah, food storage. That's always an interesting one. Okay. And Kristen has used some of the bird knowledge she's learned in her art, so that makes a lot of sense. Excellent. Yeah, for me, one of the interesting things is I was on. Well, I told you before I was on Shakespeare's Shameless Self Promotion on Friday, and they Shakespeare, he asked me this question at the end. He was asking different people that, but he asked me a different one and just said, okay, try to sell maple syrup and make it sound really awesome. I mean, go. So it was like an improv test. Very different. So I just went ahead and I tried to sell maple syrup and had a lot of fun. I had them laughing, so I think I did an okay job with it. But yeah, during it, before, during, and after it, I kind of realized I had no anxiety at all. No problem. Just like, hey, do this. Okay, no problem. And I think that has been an interesting time to get past that. Um, and you can too with my new correspondence course, Losing All Anxiety for Everything You Do. It only took me 20 years. So for you, in this wonderful course, a weekly course that I'll be giving, within 20 years, you too can get past this. It's not easy. It takes a while. Just like anything, it's the thing that causes problems with that is fear, and you just have to get to a point where you're not afraid of it. And some people never can. Their brains are wired that way. It's unfortunate, but if you just keep doing it, even when you don't want to, you sometimes can get past it. And it was a nice feeling to do that and to realize that I had, because I'm not used to doing improv on the spot like that. People make a comment and I'll make a comment back, but just say, okay, here's your scenario, go. I'm not really used to that. That's a different thing for me. Mm. Yeah, yeah. I always described it as, well, when I was younger, I always described it as a fear of heights. Where how do you get over a fear of heights? You go to a tall, high up place and stay there, and keep going there until it becomes routine, and then afterwards, you're not afraid of heights. It's just getting a familiarity with something. It's the fear is mainly about the unknown and the what if. Uh, yeah, yeah. There were two big moments in my life that helped me get over a lot of my fear. One was when I was working at Six Flags, and they put me up in the morning to go help with a roller coaster ride, and they put me up at the very top part of it while the train was going by me at 40 miles per hour, and they left me up there for 40 minutes, and I was so high up, and at first I was really nervous, but after a while I kind of got past it, and it became okay. That was when I kind of finally got over my fear of heights a bit. And there was a time in high school, and Latin class, of course, because, that's how I roll, where a friend of mine, Michael Lynch, was talking about a play that was going on that I should try out for. It's like, hey, you should do drama. It'd be a lot of fun. You should get into that. And yeah, I thought about it and said, oh, I don't know. I have stage fright. That wouldn't be good. And then I thought, I have stage fright. It's a good way to get over it. So I did it. And I was in every single play for the school from my sophomore year up to through my senior year, and had a good time doing it. It was a good experience. So yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to push forward, make it happen. And I was just I said that before, kind of, Lee. She said, to be fair, that won't work for everyone. Some people, um, it's how they're wired. You can't. That's not going to work. Um, yeah, I mean, it's a reaction, and then you can't get past it, at least not that way. So I totally agree with you, Lee. Yeah, but with sometimes you can, and that's my point. It's if it is something that you can get past, trying to go about it that way can work. So something to try for. Hmm. Always fun. Oh yeah, I wanted to throw out a interesting bit. I don't know how many of you are familiar with the Queen, uh, who out at Louisiana Ren Fair and the Tennessee Renaissance Fair, um, Queen Elizabeth out there. But yeah, if you look at one of the behind the scenes videos that just came out for the new Bill and Ted movie, um, she's in it. She is. Let me see. I think I have a picture here or something. Um, there you go. You might recognize her from that, but yeah, if you look at that, she is actually she's listed on IMDb as Queen Elizabeth. That's her, and it is really awesome. It's always nice to see uh, some some friends from Renaissance fairs get into something like that. So yeah, this is a still that I got from the behind the scenes trailer, and yeah, so something to check out. I don't know if Lee has a link to that handy, but for the trailer, but it was a lot of fun. Um, yeah. No, I wasn't about to talk about Freddie Mercury, but but no, I just yeah, I'm just throwing that in. I don't know if it's really, uh, yeah, not that much to comment. But yeah, that is really awesome. Um, and yeah, I may try to interview her for the podcast coming up here and get her take on all that, because it is I mean that had to be a blast. So just yeah, something to check out. Always fun. Always fun. uh, yeah, I just saw a post from Craig Farrington where he was talking about it was like 40 years ago he shared a stage um, uh, with like Penn and Teller over at, I think it was Michigan. So yeah, I mean that kind of people do go places from Fair, so that's always nice. Oh, good, and Lee shared the link to that video. So yeah, take a look if you're curious. It's a cool behind the scenes thing, and I'm definitely checking out that movie because yeah, I'm the right age to remember the original two films, and they were the second one was okay. It was pretty good, but the first one was just great. That was such a fun film at the time. Um, and yes, I totally agree with Lee on this. Kim is my favorite Queen Elizabeth too. I mean, she just does such a great job. Um, so much better than she thinks. I mean, she's always so hard on herself and everything, and I'm just like, are you kidding? Uh, you just have to look at her out there with the kids, and she just does such an amazing job. Um, it's yeah, it's really cool, and she makes all of her own outfits. She makes all of those. It's wow, wow. Yes, okay. So she's commenting about Penn and Teller. Yeah, and Craig Farrington was there back then, the good old days. Yeah, I remember when I first started doing fairs, I heard about the days when Penn and Teller were out at the Texas Renaissance Festival, but that was before my time. That was before I was doing fairs, unfortunately, so I never got to see that. Mm. So, you hope. But yeah, fair is definitely not a boring place. That's the point I'm getting at, I guess. Always interesting. But yeah, I think yeah, I guess that's I think all I really had to update you on. A lot of cool stuff going on. Show coming up on Thursday. Um, the weekend after that, I'm going to be pretty busy with. Uh, I mean, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be pretty busy with Dragon Con. I'll be playing over there and doing lots of events and gigs there. So yeah, I'll be doing my own convention type thing. And yeah, Deidre, yeah, she said she had no idea that they started at Ren fairs. And yeah, Penn and Teller. That was, I mean, think about it. Sort of like a magic kind of comedy show, and it's not difficult to imagine. I think of them doing that show at fair. Hmm. So yeah, but okay. Well, I guess that's about all I have for today. It's been great talking with you as always, and yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing you on Thursday. I think it's gonna be a great show and a lot of fun. So definitely tell all your gaming friends about it, and make some gaming friends and think about gaming if you haven't, because it's a lot of fun too. So have a great week, and I will. Yeah, I'll see you soon at the fair.